Hey everyone, I'd like to thank you so much for your participation in week one, and I think we had some really good discussions, and I certainly appreciated the vulnerability that was required right off the bat in the first week to admit things we weren't familiar with, and to also talk about some of our own experiences. I was interested in seeing how many of us have experienced some of the same things of being overlooked, either indirectly or directly, and also just kind of a common theme of not wanting to be judged or evaluated on the basis of one part of our identity, that all of us are really multifaceted. There are many aspects of our identity that are important. And so we're all, I think, continuing to navigate through this, and I think our discussions are very helpful in that process. I do know that a lot of you are really busy right now. Several of you just finished with or finishing orientation, being responsible for that for your colleges, and some of you are doing candidacy, some of you are in the throes of dissertation proposals. So I know it's difficult to balance all of those things, and so I certainly appreciate how diligent you were in the discussion board this past week. This week, we are going to be discussing a number of things related to the topic of diversity, and the discussion board question centers on the one particular article that you'll read about diversity bonuses, and really looking at the value of cognitive diversity. And this is different than identity diversity, but there's some overlap in those, but the value of cognitive diversity on teams. And I think you'll find the article compelling and helpful. And I've been mulling it over for my own situation. Prior to moving to Ethiopia, we received some training really on cross-cultural serving, cross-cultural relationships, and we were cautioned quite often about not coming into a new situation, a new culture, and telling people how to do things, or saying when we were in America we did this. And so I really have that in the forefront of my mind. But as I read this article, I started thinking about how that mindset also has impeded me from speaking up in situations where there might have been a benefit to the diversity or the cognitive diversity that I bring. This was kind of played out this week. I'm part of a team doing strategic planning for the hospital, and I was just thinking about some of the areas of expertise that I have would be very beneficial, and how I'm still trying to manage how to bring those up, how to find my voice really in that setting, so that I don't come across as telling people what to do or thinking that I'm an expert on this culture. So I'm really navigating that. It's kind of an interesting spin on this whole idea of diversity bonuses. I did, during the team meeting, I did talk with them about this topic too, so we're all thinking about it together. So in addition to that topic this week, one of the things that you'll want to do is to send me what you plan to write about in your annotated bibliography, so that you can look and see a little more details about that assignment, but you'll be delving in more on a topic you're interested in. And I think that you'll find this helpful, especially those of you who are in dissertation mode, and or proposing dissertations, just having this opportunity to use. For those of you who are writing about gender and leadership, you'll be able to delve in a little bit more. For the rest of you who maybe aren't planning to write on this topic, but you have some aspect that you're interested in, I think you'll find it's always fun to look at the literature that's out there on a given topic. So, if you find yourself going down a rabbit hole on something we've been reading in class, that's a good idea, that's a topic you might want to consider. So if you would email me what you're thinking of doing for that assignment, and then I can provide you with any direction or ideas that I might have to to help you in that process, or just I might just say that sounds great, go for it. So that's this week. To email the topic. And then the other thing is your leadership interviews will be due in week 4, so you definitely want to get on top of that now if you haven't already done so. Be thinking about who you want to interview, what kinds of questions you want to ask. There are some suggested questions, but you'll see that none of those are related to women in leadership or really even diversity in leadership. So there's room for you to ask whatever questions you would like to ask when you do those. So you don't have to let me know who you're planning to interview unless you want to ask me what I think about that. But just go ahead and get on top of that right now so that you can work on that project. I think you'll find it's very interesting to do that assignment. And for those of you who are thinking about doing qualitative dissertations, this assignment is also very good practice for those types of dissertations. All right. I hope that you have a great week reading, discussing. As always, if there's anything I can do, feel free to reach out. Take care.